Hi, I'm Anna of All Trades, and today I'm going to show you how to make cider with my antique cider press. I did do a video on motorizing this press last year, and if you need a chuckle, go check that one out. But today I wanted to show you more of the pressing process and what we actually do with the cider that we do press. Before we get started, I would love to give a huge shout out to Squarespace for supporting this channel. Let's do it.
I get my hands dirty, they show me no mercy, so I just keep working.
We have a lot of trees on our property here in Seattle, but my favorite tree is this awesome apple tree, and it goes in biannual seasons. Basically, one season it'll produce a ton of fruit. So the first season that we lived here, we picked almost 700 pounds of apples from this tree. On the second year, we picked about 200, and then again last year it was another bumper crop. So we're on the slower end this year. But what's important is that before the apples actually ripen, the tree starts to drop a lot of apples, and those apples get bruised. They might have wormholes or other things, but if they're not in too bad of shape, they're perfect candidates to get pressed into cider. So what we do is we just keep a couple of these buckets laying around, and every time we hear an apple fall, or every couple times a day, we'll go around and pick all the apples, and then we can make a quick batch of cider. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'll take this apple, toss it in here, and the press will grind it up. I'm getting filthy. Maybe we should have waited to the end of the day. So a couple little notes on this press. A, you'll notice that it is quite old. It is in fact an antique, and this is probably the last season that I'll be able to get out of it before I replace all of the wooden components, which is actually just fine. I want to make a bigger and obviously powered cider press moving forward, because it is a tad cumbersome to process this many apples with a hand cranked motor. However, as long as we keep up with the apples and we do a little bit every day, of course it's not as big an undertaking as trying to do several hundred pounds of apples all at once. A lot of people also, when they're pressing apples, like to use apple pressing bags, which are little mesh bags that you put inside here. And I've actually just found those to be a little bit too cumbersome. So I prefer to do it without a bag, because it saves time. And yes, I may lose a little bit of juice in the process, but it's just another thing that needs to keep clean. It's another thing that I have to do in between pressings. And I found that this is the most efficient way to do this. So once I have the tub most of the way filled up with apples, then I'll put on the pressing lid, center the piece over underneath the press, and then just go for the big squish. Once you've started the press and the juice has started to flow, you want to keep the press going. Like, you don't want to pause and, let the juice flow. So I don't want to do it so fast that I'm overflowing the press itself, but I also don't want to stop the squish at any point and give those apples a pause, because I'll lose some of my squeeze out. You'll notice, obviously, there's bees everywhere. There's things that end up getting into it. There's a couple blades of grass in there. Some of this, a little bit of the pulp could be saved if we were using those mesh bags I was talking about. But I actually will go ahead and boil or pasteurize this to get rid of harmful bacteria and wild yeasts and other things like that. But I will also filter it after I boil it, so none of those things are an actual worry for me. And as terrified as I am of wasps, they're actually hugely helpful critters to have around the farm and the garden. And so I try to do my best to coexist with them as happily and as peacefully as possible, to which end I'll save this little drowning bee in a second, but I'll let him get drunk on some apple cider first. Once I've squeezed every ounce of goodness out of these apples, then I'll pull this thing, woo-oo, that was not ideal. I'll pull this thing up and put all of the apple scraps into a bucket, where I will then either save them for making pies, muffins, and using as fodder for apple cider vinegar, or I will just feed them to the animals. Now it's just back to more of the same. So So the next step is to just boil it, and this is going to sanitize it. It's going to get rid of any bacteria that was on the apples, around the apples. It kills all of the wild yeast. But then for kombucha and apple cider vinegar and other products that we're going to make from this, we'll actually add that wild yeast back in. But this basically gives us the opportunity to not have to spend a whole lot of time prepping the apples, cleaning them, and other things like that. Obviously, we're not going to put a filthy apple directly through the press and then be eating like dirt. But once this has been boiled and has been filtered, it's great. And I mean, like I said, that saves us a ton of time up front. So we'll just turn this on to boil. So if this was going to be drinking cider, I would add a touch of cinnamon because I just like the way that that tastes. But if I'm doing kombucha or apple cider vinegar, then obviously the cinnamon will be a tad superfluous, so we're not going to add that to this batch. Now we just wait for it to boil, then we're going to strain it. So once that comes to a boil, you can do a myriad of different things with it. You can turn it into kombucha, you can drink it as apple cider, you can ferment it, and we'll talk a little bit about that in another video. But right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make some drinking cider and some apple cider vinegar, because I use apple cider vinegar as a beauty product, as a cleaning product, as a cooking product. It's extremely useful, and that's a fantastic way for you to use up all of your apple trimmings and otherwise. So we're gonna just use a little bit of apple cider in here, and that's gonna provide the sugar for the start. And again, we're filtering it for this specific reason. I'm gonna take a very, very clean apple. So remember, we didn't take a ton of time to really sanitize the apples previously because we knew we were going to boil them. But now we're gonna take a very, very clean apple that doesn't have any wormholes or anything else. We're gonna just chop it up into some pieces and put that down in the bottom. We're going to add a very tiny bit of honey just to add a little bit of extra sugar. This is harvested from our bees right over there. And then just fill it up the rest of the way with water. What I'll do now is take a clean paper towel and a rubber band, and I will cover it. Now, after a few weeks, you will have what's called a mother form. This disgusting little glob basically proves that the cider is alive and well. It's the mother of vinegar, and you know, some people would be grossed out by this kind of stuff, but it's fascinating to me because I know that I'm always using a product that is alive and continually fermenting and is going to be beneficial for all kinds of different things. At that point, you can put a lid on it, put it in your cupboard, and it will last indefinitely. And then for cider that I'm going to be drinking, filter, cool, and consume. As I mentioned at the beginning, this video is sponsored by Squarespace, an awesome, easy-to-use platform where you can create a stunning website for yourself. I've been using Squarespace since I started my business in 2012. It is really easy for someone who's not very tech savvy like me to drag and drop and create a stunning website with all my needs. I have a commerce section so you can buy merchandise or products that I create and sell. I have a blog, I can host photos and videos, and it's just a great resource for me. Make sure you go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/AnnofAllTrades to save 10% on your first purchase of a website or domain. Squarespace provides beautiful designer templates that you can just drag and drop your material into, and Squarespace also offers incredible customer support 24/7. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video and for supporting my channel in that way. If you would like to support me in other ways, the link for my Patreon is below. There is also a link to purchase merchandise from me. I hope you leave this video feeling challenged, inspired, and excited to get outside and to do things with your hands as well. Cheers.